there were some tweaks, but I wouldn't really say that the hero got any weaker.
Oh, yeah, the only change to it, I pulled it up, was the shard activation time on the Fear was
Right.
changed from 4 seconds to 3 seconds, so I would say that's a buff. It just activates a little bit faster with the Fear onto heroes, and this is a hero that was picked up almost, well, not almost every game, but it was one of the most contested heroes inside the Chinese DPC, especially inside the offline, so I know a lot of teams, they value what the Chinese region was doing quite a bit. Undying before TI, they, like, specifically wanted to discriminate against a lot of these Chinese teams.
And that, I
Um,
mean, sorry.
I think the Wildcard is taking a big takeaway from what was happening in the CN DPC, and if there were very little changes to Death Prophet, just stick with what works when the patch begins.
Yep,
Go ahead, though.
keep simple. Sorry, didn't mean to step on your toes there, but
Was that a Quincy Crew shirt you have on, by the way?
it is indeed. Well, I
I
was
can only
about
see
to
the
show
top
it
of
off.
it.
Well, chat, you can't see it, but I'm showing it off for Neff. But yeah, got the
Mhm.
Quincy Crew shirt. Unfortunately, not participating. As they said, they dropped out, had some, or not issues. Let's not maybe blow that too far out of proportion, but wanted to focus on their visa situation and withdrew. Which, nice little segue, is the reason why we get to see Hokori here in this phase 2. So it all works out in the end. Serendipity, I suppose, to throw in my big word of the day. And on the Hokori side of
Ooh, that's
things,
a good one.
yeah, Beastmaster and Phoenix. The Phoenix, kind of an interesting one. Getting a little bit more attention now. Obviously, they banned out the Snapfire, so you don't have that instant little shredder to just ruin your day. But that hero really didn't see much action, at least in this region, throughout a lot of the previous patch. And now teams are starting to maybe throw it back into the mix a little bit.
Yeah, I did see it come out in regional finals out of China DPC, but it did not end up performing well. People tried to play it on the position 3, but it just did not feel very good. This is a hero that get hit with a number of buffs. I believe the Fire Spirits, their cooldown was reduced, so you can spam them a lot more inside the laning phase, at least the later levels. And I think they changed around the Icarus dive. The slow was nerfed very slightly, but that's not really why anyone ever picked up the Phoenix.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you are looking for Phoenix or slow, then I maybe hand the drafting off to somebody else. But in the meantime, we move. Sorry, I'm feeling a little spicy today. But we move into the final phase of the bans. Both teams looking to remove some of those carry options. TB, Naga, both taken away. Really, the patch may have changed, but nobody wants to deal with illusion-based carries, regardless of what patch you're playing in.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm a little bit surprised that people just don't let the illusion-based carries through and then pick up a Brewmaster to counter it out with the Dispel Magic, because Brewmaster got some pretty significant changes. I would say that the Drunken Brawler was buffed like crazy with how that one works now. I'm not sure if you had a chance to play around with that, but especially with the added effect that you get from Drunken Haze onto it, you can have either massive status resistance, massive slow, be super tanky. You just have so much more utility on the hero now, just outside of your ultimate as well.
Well, I mean, unfortunately not going to see it in this one, as the offlane situation
Oh,
had already been sort of sorted
I
out.
want to add one more thing. You can actually use it to dispel things like Treant Protector's ultimate.
What?
The dispel magic on the
What?
Wind Panda. Not that many people know that one. There are some very interesting mechanics with the dispel magic.
Oh.
It's from a different era of the game.
Okay, well,
But they
hold
go
on
for
a second. Yeah, that makes things a bit more interesting.
Mhm. But we might not see Brewmaster at all. Instead, we see the Clinks picked up last. And I'm a little bit surprised that Wildcard went for this one. I know Sammy absolutely loves this hero, but that's when he played position 1. He doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, so either Yamsun agreed or Yamsun maybe got strong-armed into it a little bit, but it's a little bit concerning now. Obviously, if the DP assumingly is going to play some sort of core role, either 2 or 3, that is going to be some degree of durability. But then you look at Clinks and Ember, if they get caught out, they're in, honestly, a decent amount of trouble. On the Hokori side of things, though, you don't see a crazy amount of lockdown to actually make those plays happen.
Mm-hmm. You have to rely a lot on the Roar and the Overgrowth, and a lot of the time the Overgrowth comes out, you can just BKB that one off. It's one of the most commonly picked up items, and I don't think that's changed in 7.31. I think rushing the BKB is still pretty important, and just the Roar to fall back on. Obviously the Phoenix Egg is a great disable, but that's only if the enemies decide to commit onto it, and a very easy time disengaging or even dodging out that Phoenix Egg with Tusk in the mix, who's just going to be able to save people when the egg pops with that snowball. So not a lot to say, but I'm thinking that they probably want to grab Disable as their last pick, but they go for the Morphling with some interesting changes instead.
And, well, that is a bit of a, a bit of a Yuma special, the Morphling in particular. It's a hero that he is very skilled with, but as a sort of caveat to that, in sort of more recent times when it's been picked up, the results for Yuma's team have maybe been a little bit mixed. It's certainly a hero that he's strong with, but the previous patch was not always kind to Morphling. But 7.31 maybe gives him a new opportunity, and it's always going to be a comfort pick for Yuma regardless.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I'm not crazy about well, Morphling changes seem okay, but Aghanim Scepter was definitely nerfed on him. I'm not exactly sure how the status resistance steal and whatnot works. Does that like straight up remove status resistance from the enemy heroes? That one was one of the ones that I didn't have the chance to test.
I think it does, but I don't know if you can go like fully
Below
negative. Yeah,
you can go negative because that's
okay.
how ceremonial
That's debuff
robe works.
animation and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, ceremonial robe works like that and hits everybody around them. But I'm not sure if this one works like that. We'll have the chance to see inside this match. Either way, it looks it sounds very cool in concept, and it feels like Morphling got some positive changes. Minus, I mean, he very much needed to, because the way that you itemize the hero has been significantly nerfed now, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of changes. That old E-Blade combo kind of,
Yeah.
it doesn't really fly anymore, right? With the changes to the item, giving you not really agi anymore. So
Yeah, so now you use E-Blades against the Morphling because he has very high agility, and it's the damage that it does damage based on the enemy's primary attribute. So if you hit a Morphling when he's just full agi, he could just die off of that.
what a world we live in. You use E-Blade against the Morphling and he can't buy it himself anymore. And yeah, that is going to be interesting. As we said, it's a comfort pick for Yuma, but now you have to play this differently, or maybe in this instance, Neph, you just go for sort of right-click Morphling build as opposed to that shotgun nuke damage-oriented style.
Yeah, I mean, it was a middle ground before. You would go for the E-Blade in order to blow heroes up fairly quickly, but you would usually just... Our Cryptic, you know that I'm with KMart. He just invited me to play Dota.
Oh, you know, he's always about it, man, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to play? It's like,
Yeah.
I'm literally casting. It's like, yeah, okay, is that a no?
You're in the group chat where we discussed this just now.
Oh, man. Always up for some Dota. But in the meantime, well, there's a bit of a fight breaking out here. Gardic is in a bad way, and well, there's unfortunately your downside. You go for the Fire Spirits first, which is the normal move, but leaves you in a vulnerable position when you're the last man out of the fight, and Wildcard picked themselves up for first blood.
Yeah, honestly, it's hard to make the call about whether or not it's better to go a skill to keep yourself alive and give it first blood versus having a bad skill at level 1. It looks like we might be about to lose Analog as well.
A little bit more right-click damage is what they need. Sam is just going to go for it. He's laying out. Still doesn't get it. Will now turn his attention back over. And they'll get the Hokori. Unfortunately, it does cost them Esk. That is not quite as great a trade-off. Still a 2-for-1, though. If you're looking at it from Wildcard's perspective. And actually, Alexo now picks up the slack. His teammate may have given up the chase, but the Tusk himself goes all the way in, and Analog does get brought down.
This is absolutely wild. It actually makes the Queen of Pain's lane very difficult. Hopefully she just loses a single CS. It looks like she's going to lose 2, but she might not even have level 2 until like the third wave comes in, based on like how much Esk man is denied from the Queen of Pain this next coming wave. But neither mid hero was actually in the lane for the beginning of the lane when the first creeps died. I have not seen something like that happen in years.
Yeah, the only reason Analog's not massively behind experience-wise is because Esk ended up dying there as well, but that's just, it's a little funky, especially ET and I always sort of harp on it. The North American squads, you know, they normally don't want that sort of early fight. Wildcard in this instance, just, they go in, they force, what, 2 or 3 engagements in a row before the horn goes off, and well, they're the ones coming out ahead of it, 3 kills to 1, but maybe a little uncharacteristic compared to what we normally see from them.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they've had an amazing performance the last little while, even after replacing El Misho, who in my opinion was one of the best position 4s inside the region. But inside info apparently wasn't really showing up to practice or taking things that seriously, as he's preoccupied with other things.
That is, well, unfortunate. So is that, as Alexo really gets taken down, because Gardic and Elmisha were kind of the pairing for quite a long time in terms of the sort of 4-5 duo, which, you know, maybe wasn't always represented in the team's position. Hokori never quite rose to that, you know, absolute top-tier status, but it's always unfortunate to see that sort of drop off. Hopefully Elmisha lands on his feet with whatever it is he's planning to do next, but it was sad to see him go. But if you're Hokori, I mean, you've sort of settled into something quite nicely here. Theolacor in the lineup for them, and I do believe that is actually an official change, not just a stand-in situation for them. So they've got an experienced player, veteran of multiple sort of teams in the region, so you lose one that you really didn't want to see go, but at least you replace him with a high-quality player as well.
All right.
Go? Okay.
Looks like I'm a little bit better. Yeah, I'm connecting in a little bit of a weird way right now. It looks like the lag issue was sorted out. I lost visual there for a moment, but it looks like we're fine. Licor chasing Sammy through the jungle. Up in the top lane, yeah, just morphing full Agi. And then tangoing back up. The interesting thing about this one is salves are all of a sudden a lot less value than they used to be. It's over the course of 13 seconds that it heals you, and it heals you for less than it did before. Which I think kind of needed to happen because supports were just like teleporting back the lane, salving up their carries, and then wasting all their money. Now it's a little bit less, they're a little bit less inclined to do that with how slowly it heals them back up.
That was something that we sort of always had to point out, right? A support gets taken down, and then it's really not a detriment. You look at that situation, it's like, oh, cool, okay, he can pick up a whole ton of regen and then just TP back in, and now your carry doesn't have to leave lane. So, like you said, making that salve a little less powerful means that the support has to value their time and, by extension, their life maybe that little bit more than usual.
Yeah, and cores are going to be a little bit more inclined to be like, okay, if it takes me this long to heal back up, even if my support dies and has to come back to base, well, maybe I'll just buy more regen items instead as I'm coming back to lane, or maybe I'll buy a Ring of Health instead.
Well, not in this situation, I suppose, with the Clinks, as Yamsun, he is just dealing with this sort of annoying Treant Protector, which I don't think there's any other kind of Treant Protector. He is just here to really slow down the Clinks as much as possible. It's not going
What are the items on
fantastically.
Sammy? I'm curious.
On Sammy, what is he working with? He has a stick and a salve.
I disagree with this build, especially against Treant Protector. A Quelling Blade only costs 100 gold right now, and you cut off a lot of the tree line from the Treant and a lot of his ability to play around you if you just end up buying that and cutting off all the trees. So there's very little reason not to build that as a support at the moment. If it costs such a small amount of gold, it can be such a large detriment to what a Treant Protector can provide in the lane. I think it's an item he should pick up.
It is actually interesting, too, because you see Yamsun, he's got one. So if both of the heroes in this lane ended up with Quelling Blades and they just start hacking away at that tree line, like you said, now all of a sudden your Treant Protector becomes a lot less annoying. But
Yeah.
we'll see. No, Sam is just going to buy some wards and clarity while Yamsun is getting into some trouble. That is an interesting attempt to get him out with the Inkswell, but Theolacor with the slow is just that little bit earlier, and Vitaly's going to get himself a big kill.
Yeah, these two are never going to be able to pump out the same amount of damage as the Beastmaster, the Treant Protector, especially if he gets on top of them with the Leech Seed. Yeah, there's nothing in Sammy's going to be able to do about this. And of course, them being healed up as they dive there thanks to the healing effect of the Leech Seed. This is how Treant Protector used to be for a small period of time before getting nerfed and reworked a little bit. Looks like Theolacor is going back to old times.
Ooh, look at the ward there.
That's an interesting ward placement. Do you like that one? I mean, he'll catch out couriers with it, but that's about all that he's going to be able to do.
I don't hate it, but I don't like it at the same time. Like you said, it's nice for what you need it to do, but it does nothing else. But now, well, if they can just keep fighting, then maybe that ward placement isn't going to matter too much, because Sammy's in trouble again.
They can't out-damage him, though. Look how much he heals here.
Oh.
Off of that Leech Seed.
Yeah, this is too early for the Clinks. He can't do it. He's just got to back off. So, well, Theolacor knows what he's about. 2 points in the Leech Seed, so he's just going to keep that pressure on. Speaking of pressure, though, okay. Esk getting it done in the middle lane, takes down Analog, denies his teammate, and now is looking for the double. And this is a hasted Ember. He's getting that kill.
Doesn't need attack speed if he's got Sleight of Fist. Just instantly apply that attack onto you, and of course you're at negative armor thanks to this Orb of Corrosion that he's got.
So Esk, all right, 2, 1, and 3 now in the middle lane. That's a just immediate sort of boost for him, which slightly needed there. Prior to those 2 kills, he was a little bit behind the Queen of Pain, both in terms of the last hits and denies, so Queen of Pain never a
This
hero
is-
that you want to be behind.
Yeah, this is a skill-based matchup, though. You only really manage to play against the Queen of Pain here if you can dodge out the dagger with the Sleight of Fist. It is a little bit Queen of Pain favored, even if you manage to dodge everything perfectly with just how often these daggers can come out. But it's actually looked like she's opted to go 3 points of Scream and no into her ultimate, so not a lot of kill potential there. The ultimate was nerfed, but I definitely think it is still something you should get at level 6.
Yeah, I mean, like, 30 less damage is unfortunate, but
You're a man who memorizes patch notes. I'm impressed.
nope, I just moused over it. I won't lie about that. Literally just moused over it.
Damn.
I am a cheating boy. And now Analog, kind of wishing he had that ult now. Not sure it would have saved him, but it certainly wouldn't have hurt. But as it stands, Yamsun gets the kill, and this is going to be important for the Clinks. He's got 3 kills on the board right now because his lane's gone. The tier 1's already been taken. It's pushed back so far, so at least the kill gold is going to offset that a little bit, but now you sort of have to find a home for him.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty safe if they're all the way back at the tier 2. The only issue about being all the way down there is if he pushes the lane out at all, he's exposed to no tower ward teleport to. And now they've taken the tower there, that observer ward isn't so bad. Sammy.
Okay, they take him down. They still have the roar. There it is onto S. Analog. Oh, the snowball. That is perfect, but it's not quite perfect enough. That's a weird statement, but S is still gonna die.
A correct statement, though.
That's the most Alexo could have possibly done there, and unfortunately for him, it won't be enough, and he's going to be taken down as well. Analog picks up the double. Good defense, better offense as Hokori pick up the kill, and they're going to get another tower here. That's 2 down in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they are playing this one fast, and they kind of... I mean, I would say that they have to. A lot of their lineup is pretty early game, but more playing, incredibly late game hero, especially with the changes to him. He's not like that early mid-game timing where he comes online once he's got the ethereal blade now. I think he does like scale into right clicks a lot more like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, that...
But the rest of your lineup, you don't want to be taking this late. You want to be going as fast as possible. Klinks feels very useless prior to himself getting up like a Maelstrom plus 1 other item as well. So as long as they keep him beat down, I don't think they're going to be able to do a ton to defend here on Wildcard.
Well, Yamsun's been spotted out in the jungle. The Wildcard came with the detection, so just needs Vitaly to get into range. He does not have the roar, but that...
He might not
why
need
does he have so many auras? What is this? Yamsun is going to die. Sorry, folks. That's a given.
Those are all from the skeletons.
Oh my god.
He had 2 sets of skeletons summoned, and each one is a stackable aura that gives you 3 damage.
Valve, listen, you all know more about software design than I do, but maybe like a stack counter.
Stack.
I don't know.
There
that's
was
just
some
insane.
wacky stuff to happen in this patch, though. There was some very, very wacky stuff. So I think that's probably not even top 10.
But for Vitaly, he'll take it. I mean, it's what, 3 damage per stack or something like that, but
Yeah.
it certainly helps when you're getting kills on it to that Clinks, and like you said, he just feels, I mean, kind of useless right now. He's sitting on a javelin, and that's basically it. Other than his boots, this just isn't going to get it done for him right now. But well,
Oh my God, you're right. You're not even close to this Maelstrom. He needs another
he's a poor
1,400
boy.
gold for that. Yeah, you don't farm at all until you have the Maelstrom completed on this hero.
and the worst part for him, I mean, we've seen in the past the Burning Barrage play. It's been sort of made a little bit less effective over time, but that requires some serious stacks. But we're only 10 minutes in. Those stacks don't really exist. I don't think they were anticipating needing them at this point.
No, but they just walked at them during the laning phase. They didn't have the kind of damage in order to counter out the Train Protector. Nice dodge.
Analog has arrived below, but doesn't really want to go all in for that one. And Esk is the only one showing far enough forward. They would need something like the Roar to really get that fight started. And
They could kill Esk here with the Roar plus Overgrowth, but I don't think they want to commit that much onto him.
starting to go on a bit of a journey. We're pushing his way into the jungle, and Dolly's game has gone really fantastically. It's kind of shocking. We've been talking about basically everyone other than him, and well, okay, yeah. Sometimes the caster's curse is real. Right as I was going to talk about how well he had been performing, he takes his first death, but that still leaves him at 5-1-3. You look at the itemization, Vlad's and a Dom Helm already, so yeah, that one death is unfortunate, but it's not going to be that much of a setback. But now, Yamsun, yeah, that CP is not happening. The Olakor, Yeah, you gotta pop the ult, but you're, what, you're 12 minutes in? That's what the ult is there for at that point.
Yeah. But a nice find there. Getting onto Yamsum. I keep saying Eves. They keep insisting when I call them Eves.
Yeah, I've been doing that because I wasn't sure how to say that. Eves?
Eves.
All right.
I had them message me in the middle of the game demanding I call them Eves instead
All right.
of Yves or Yams. Anyway, the fact that they went onto the Beastmaster down there by the tier 2 tower did open up that kill for them going onto Clink. So I think that Eve should have been playing a little bit further back there, knowing that just their allies weren't able to help him. He was fairly close to a tier 1 tower, but I'm pretty sure they committed a lot of the TPs heading down to the bottom lane in order to go on Vitaly there. I would say that's beneficial to Wildcard, though. Like you mentioned, Vitaly was popping off prior to you cursing him.
Oops.
Had gone 5-0. Oh. I was going to talk about what an unbiased cast you were because you're not wearing the Quincy Crew shirt until Quincy Crew's not participating in the tournament. But maybe
Listen,
a little bit biased and
if
cursing these teams.
if there's one thing I'm absolutely 100% known for, it's my professionalism and unbiased nature. Right? That's assuming
Quincy
I'm known
Crew
for anything at all, not just, hey, it's that guy again. But either way, Wildcard, they're looking to make a move here to absolutely change the subject back to the game. They're
Nice
mapping their
transition.
way around. I am the master of segues. But do they really want to do this? Look at the Hokori. He's just getting so much vision right now, but Divide's even coming in. So if you're going to go, yeah, you got to go. There's the roar, but it's not going to do much good. Vitaly's very quickly going to realize he's outnumbered. Garlic, or excuse me, not Garlic. The Hokori trying to save the day with the Overgrowth. That buys time for Analog in with the Sonic. And they'll trade out the two supports for Vitaly, so... Well, at the end of the day, Neph, who's baiting whom? That was very interesting with so many heroes coming into play.
In all honesty, probably, I mean, the Wildcard lost 2 heroes for 1, but you ended up getting Vitaly, who's second on the net worth. He was, I think, first on the net worth prior to him dying, and your Klink's getting a little bit more time to catch back up in the game. So these plays, honestly, not that bad, and I don't really see a point of Hokori being down here. They're not going to be able to take this tier 2 tower, I don't feel like. So they're kind of wasting time. I think they should be putting a little bit more pressure on making sure Klink's game stays ruined.
Yeah, that is the point, especially with Analog coming in there. His Sonic Wave, part of the reason why they net those 2 kills, but like you said, it was just the 2 supports. Eves continues to farm. That Maelstrom is now done, and Neph,
That's
I
how he
don't
catches
know
back up.
if you have spoken with ET since the patch dropped, but he is on an anti-Orchid crusade right now. He is not a fan of the fact that this item is basically now bought by anybody. I mean, Klinks is going for one.
Is he not a fan of the fact that you can buy it on anyone, or does he hate the item?
I don't think he hates the item. It's just the change up. Now the more emphasis on sort of attack speed and not giving over the int means that a lot of heroes that weren't even looking at it before are now starting to sort of consider it, you know?
Yeah, and even before that, like, people were building Orchid on Kunkka. Now that it's not like an int item, a lot more just goes towards straight damage and attack speed, and cheaper to pick up as well. I think that, yeah, it just becomes way more value, like you were mentioning. Fair enough. ET's a man of integrity.
Like, no, I hate it. I don't want it. Get it out. But, it's here. It's not going anywhere. So, Divide. He might not be going anywhere either. There's going to be the roar, but where's Vitaly's backup? There's just no one here, but okay. Who needs help when you have a Centaur? That's all the help you need. Stun cancels out the TP. Yuma's there to say thanks for the kill, as he just literally waveforms in at the last second, but that's a kill on your Morphling. Another hero that we really hadn't been talking about too much. He's been kind of quiet to this point, keeping his head down and farming. 134 last hits, 2 kills, and now a push into the Roche pit that is canceled by a potential kill. They're going to spot out Sammy. They will take him down. They're pinging out where that ward is, but it's too late to actually take it down or stop the Roche.
Yeah, I mean, they took that fight right beside the Roche, but they end up losing the Death Prophet, which is one of the only heroes that is actually going to feel strong enough to fight inside Roche right now. They don't have any amazing teamfight alternates. It's all based around solo pickoff, especially when you have something like a Tusk. So it's difficult to fight into Hokori's team right now. But once they were set up around the Roche pit, it was kind of too late to do anything. Well, nice job there by Hokori recognizing that. But again, Clinks, he's finally managed to surpass this Morphling in net worth, and this is going to continue to happen. Burning Barrage, once you have that Maelstrom, just outfarms most heroes super fast.
Yeah, that is going to be the sort of bailout play here for Wildcard, although I say bailout, you look at the net worth right now, Neph, they're really still kind of even, which Considering the kill count, you would not necessarily expect. They did clip with the dust. You really want to dive a tier 2 tower, though. No, they do not. They will back themselves out, but you have stopped the Clinks from farming. Mission accomplished.
For now, it's going to take you a little while to get to that tier 2 tower with how far away the wave is pushed in. Probably another like 15 seconds from where they are. So they're wasting a lot of time on several of their heroes while they're invading the jungle and establishing vision for, I imagine, where the Clink is going to be farming next. Death Prophet and Grimstroke both up to that. They might finally get this tier 2 in the bottom lane. That'll secure them outposts and give themselves more of an XP lead, though.
Blip is going to slow that down just a bit, but actually it's going to clear out most of the creep wave too, so this... it'll still happen. Yuma says, no, I'm getting this tower.
Yeah.
He is not backing off.
Yeah. They realize that they waste too much time if they don't just hard commit for the tower, and like we were just talking about when they were inside the Roshan, they don't really have team fight on the side of Wildcard. In fact, Hokori, they want to threaten the high ground here.
Anybody coming back?
Ember Spirit's got to get back to defend this one. Sam by himself, I don't think so.
But he's got a ferocious level 1 Stroke of Fate that he will throw out. I mean, you have to, but somebody got to come help. Otherwise, they're just going to sacrifice a tower.
It's got to be Ember.
Getting the tier 2 top, so that's nice, but yeah, like you said, the Ember's got to be here, and as of right now, he is not in position. There's the TP. It's finally coming through, but the tower's already gone down, and Yuma, even if you jump him now, he's still got the Aegis, so this is a fantastic drop from Hokori. Everyone else sort of getting the sort of wrap in from behind, making sure if Yuma wants to go in, there's going to be support, and if he doesn't, no one else is going to get caught.
Yep. Nice job there by Hokori, recognizing they aren't really able to take that fight. S definitely could have gotten back a little bit earlier. Ooh.
Got the jump, they've got the Sonic Wave, and S should just burn out. Yeah, he will die. Alexo, well, I think that was supposed to be a defensive snowball at first, but he ended up too far away from the Ember, and that's...
Yeah, the wave ended up pushing him just a little bit too far as he tried to snowball into him.
That, unfortunately, Neph, is kind of worst case scenario. You would have been better off just letting Hokori go. Instead, they try to get a little bit too close, maybe force the issue, and now it's not just going to be one lane of Rax. It could potentially be threatened because Yuma wants to go mid.
Yeah, I mean, it's a panic situation. You end up, they're at your tier 3, you end up arriving a little bit late. You want to take a little bit more as Hokori is starting to exit, but they've been playing this game very methodically.
Methodically, indeed. We talked about the fact that the net worth was still even. That was about 5 kills in a full lane of Rax ago. It has very much swung.
I mean, for a couple of kills in a lane of Rax, a 3k net worth swing isn't that much, all things considered.
Yeah, it's true.
It's more like a 5 to 10k swing in a situation like this normally, but Clinks has continued to farm up. He's fairly high up on the net worth. He's keeping pace with people, but again, he's never going to be able to fight into them. Unless his team like whittles him down, he managed to pick heroes off on the back line. Their team fight just isn't there. I don't think when they came out of the lanes behind, they had much of a recovery strategy on the side of Wildcard.
See, he's got what? Dragon Lance and a BKB queued up. The BKB probably the more important of those two, but is still quite a ways away, and without that
and they
BKB...
do have, yeah, they do have BKB piercing disables though.
Yeah,
like, they've got the roar available, and of course, if they don't kill the Treant Protector pops that overgrowth after your BKB, you're not doing much.
And the Hokori even has the blink at this point, so he literally can just stand and wait, see any sort of magic community popped, and then say, okay, it's time to go. And yeah, at that point, Wildcard really don't have much that they could do about that, because the Clinks, not only is he lacking in defensive itemization right now, Neff, he's just lacking in durability full stop. Without the Death Pact, he's just insanely squishy.
Yeah. Which talent did he take, by the way?
The Searing Arrows at 10, took the Death Pact health at 15.
Boring. The other one is
no
hilarious.
Thanks. I choose life. But yeah, dude, taking the abilities, I want it. Ooh, what happened there? Looks like this comes through. The Hokori was hit by it, I believe, but I don't know if he cares. Yeah, there's that Blink Dagger coming into play. Just jumps out. Bad news for Hokori, though, is that they did just lose the Aegis. Time's out on Yuma, so that might bring this push to an end, although if you're Wildcard, you gotta maintain cohesion. No hero ball here. Nobody go too far forward because Hokori are still waiting in the wings looking for the chance to gank.
Yeah, but even with this, you got to be careful about how much time you spend group up this 5 because bottom lane is pushing in naturally. You don't do much, the waves will eventually reach your base. You're forced to send somebody back, and at that point, Hokori are going to be able to outnumber you in these team fights. And even in a 5v5 engagement, Hokori feels stronger. The moment.
There's the blink into the roar, and Divide not dead yet. Good snowball play from Alexo. But now they still need to get the Death Prophet out. That's the issue. And Divide, he's not going to be able to make it. Alexo should fall as well. No one is hitting the Supernova, so that is going to go off entirely. Gets the stun down. Fiolivore drops down his ult as well. And now Esk, well, he's giving it a good go. He and Eves, but they're both a little late to the party. And they have to back themselves away. But Divide bought back. Alexo did as well. They're looking for round 2. And I think they're actually going to be able to get this. Analog needs to be able to blink out. And, well, they do get him away. And Yuma should just be able to walk from Devi as well, so I don't think these buybacks are really going to get them what they fully wanted.
Devi's got to be careful.
Devi, that's
He's not healing up as much as he wants to, thanks to this Scotty on the Morphling.
Oh, hold up.
Oh, but they do get the kill off onto Analog. All right, impressive. So they managed to get the mega kill despite having committed several buybacks there.
Where is that somewhere going? Hi, Gardic. Why are you still here? That's... Why is he still there? What? He had TP.
Why is he still there?
Very, very strange.
I wish I could answer that for you, my friend.
Sorry, I spoke before my brain had time to censor that, but that is weird. I mean, he's just going for vision at the end of the play, kind of thinking, all right, the fight's over, I'll throw some wards down, and I mean, yeah, the 9 times out of 10, sure, that's not a bad mindset to have, but you got to make sure you're actually alone before you do it.
And that your team has won the team fight,
yeah,
and
that's
not been forced away. Yeah.
Little important.
Mm-hmm.
But
was it that? Oh yeah, 4 points of living armor is what kept Queen of Pain alive when they ended up going on to her initially in that team fight. The Exodus right on top of her almost ended up blowing her up, but of course, amount of armor that you get from the overgrowth now is, sorry, the living armor is pretty insane. I do think that it offers a little bit of recovery at that last team fight, but you had to force several buybacks, and the only reason you managed to take that is because they didn't have the Aegis that time. They extended pretty far forward. A lot of things went right for you there. Like, yes, they didn't end up touching the Supernova, but I don't think Wildcard would get another team fight like that. And again, this next team fight, they're not going to have those same buybacks available. So I'm thinking that was their last hurrah. And Hokori probably going to want to take a fight now that Exodus is on cooldown for a little while. That's going to... Surprised that they haven't started grouping up and trying to secure the area around the Roshan pit already. And it's going to be a very fast... Yeah.
Not quite instant. It was all of 12 seconds, but now both teams are going to, well, maneuver their way there once they scout it out. This might be fast even by their estimations. I'm sure they're keeping the time, but someone's actually got to go scout it out first. And
if only they had some sort of, you know, a bird with a good vision, a hawk, if you would.
If only you could train some sort of pet to do tasks for you. We're not quite in the future
we're talking
yet.
about Phoenix here. That's what we're talking about.
Gardic is trained well enough. He'll scout it out.
Yeah.
Question is, do they go for it, though? They don't have the man advantage. They were able to get that sentry ward down, so there won't be any funny business. And look at all the sentries they actually have in the west side jungle, too. So the approach to the pit is far from safe for Wildcard, but if all 5 heroes come running at the pit, that's still an issue for Hokori. So you see them hesitant to go for it right now.
The call of the wild. Yeah, again, if they had moved a little bit faster, made a play, maybe caught one hero out while the exorcism was on cooldown, they might be able to do it a little bit easier, but fighting into the exorcism around the pit can be kind of scary. We're going to smoke up and try to walk in the high goal. They're holding the best.
They get right onto it. Damn, they're going in for the DP, and that's an easy kill. And oh, Alexo. He was trying to go in for the snowball play, but he's actually going to get hit up. Yuma morphed into him to get his own snowball forward. They will find that kill. Now they've got Sammy as well. He's on the wrong side, unfortunately. He was just trying to sort of set up if his team was looking to contest. Instead, he gets caught out, and now that's Roche for free.
Yep. Well, you've lost the hero at the very beginning of that. You know, would have secured the easiest way of taking that team fight. And buyback not available now on the Death Prophet. I don't see a way for them to defend their high ground. It'll take them a moment to get the wave pushed out and take the tier 2. But if I was them, I would just barrel down the mid lane, take that one, get your second set of racks.
Yeah, shall see if they just sort of go for it. Because, yeah, mid is maybe
Pushed
not
in.
wide open, but yeah, it's pushed in quite nicely for them. And well, this is
They're not going for it.
Yeah, no sense of urgency on this one. They're going to take it low and slow and push in, I guess, the top wave. Their creep wave is so far back, though. This is not going to be quite as quick.
Yeah, a little bit worried about taking high ground. I'm not sure they had that much to be afraid of going over to the mid lane, but they opt for the safer option.
Yeah, better safe than sorry. Hokori, they've been playing
A bit
very
less confident
well.
for the last team fight, maybe.
Yeah, I think that might be part of it a little bit, right? They didn't get away cleanly, but they just don't want to make any, game-losing mistakes. We did see some of those, or have seen some of those throughout this group stage, so especially with how close the standings are right now, if you're Hokori, no unnecessary risks. They'll just leave Yuma out in front, but look at Wildcard trying to get the wraparound. Not much of one, though, unfortunately. They didn't have the angle they thought they did, and Sammy, he's already dead. He's going to buy back immediately. We'll just reset everything, basically.
But they're already clean out. Sammy buying back in this game. I'm not sure it's going to change all that much.
Just chipping away at things here. Tier 3 down, ranged racks down. Yuma, well, yeah. Your sleight of fist, not as good as my sleight of fist, as the root actually comes in. But Yuma, he still doesn't care. I mean, look at him. He just pushes in. Hey, how's it going? I'm taking your racks. Don't mind me.
Through backdoor protection.
Yeah, this, oh my goodness.
All right, now it's disabled, but
It's
he was
gone.
doing damage through backdoor protection right there. That double damage around the morphling, absolutely huge.
Now, at this point, if you're Wildcard, you're running out of time. You've got to do something. If you let this final lane of racks go, if you are going to go up against Mega Creeps without any sort of fight, then I don't think you have much of a chance of coming back. But look at, they're not willing to commit. They still don't want to fight into this Aegis. They might go in now, but Esk is immediately hit up by the Roar. Nice snowball play to keep him alive, though, but now the Supernova channeling out. Can they protect it? The Old Core comes in, dropping down the ult, and yeah, they can definitely protect it. Everybody's going to get wiped out. Yuma picks up all the kills. Don't think they're going to give him the Rampage here. Oh, hold on. He's got it. He's got the Rampage neph.
Yuma with the Rampage. You said it yourself, KMart. Signature hero. New patch, doesn't matter. He is a god on this. And Hokori managed to secure themselves victory.
Oh, boy. Yeah, comfort does pay off every once in a while. Rampage right as the game ends to close it out in style. Hokori, well, that's really about as strong a performance as I think you could have expected for them to start off the day. They just come out there and they just kind of hand it to Wildcard.
Yeah, and this is a team that didn't end up making it through initially, through the qualifiers for this tournament. They ended up getting invited in because they were the second place team in the SA qualifiers, the BTS Pro Series Season 10. But they have looked good. Maybe not as good as Quincy Crew, but almost. Taking these games off of Wildcard, taking these games off of Thunder Awaken. And just seemed to have a fairly good understanding of this patch. I loved how they played the Train Protector this game. That aggression onto the Clinks, I think, completely shut down what Wildcard had in mind. They didn't expect to come out of these lanes so far behind. They didn't have a ton of team fight to be able to recover. Really liked what they pulled off here against Hokori. Or sorry, against Wildcard.
Yeah. Other way around. But Hokori, yeah, they continue to impress. Now that's, I think, what, 3 wins in a row for them, or 3 of their last 4, one of those 2?
300 wins in a row.
300, that is correct. Hokori have the longest active winning streak in the history of not just Dota,
I don't know how they do it,
but competitive sports in general. You heard it here first. But yeah, Hokori take game 1. We'll be moving along to game number 2. Before we do, though, I do want to once again take a moment to thank you, Neph. Thank you for hopping in here. I know it was the shortest of short notices, but very much appreciate you stepping in and helping out.
Yeah, no problem. We got ET back now.
I believe we are getting ET back in here.
All right, we got a real analyst. I'm out. Thank you so much for having me, Kmart. See you later.
Yeah, see you, man. Go back to your stream, boot it back up. Enjoy your what are you playing? Tales of Symphonia, I think it was.
Symphonia.
Yeah.
You sound like
I
my
always
dad.
say
He
it
calls
wrong.
it Do
Yeah.
Do too.
I'm sorry. I always say that
No
wrong.
problem. See you later, man.
Yeah, thank you again. All right, so yeah, we will be stepping away for just 5 to 10 minutes. We'll get ET in here as well, and we will get game 2 started. So stick around, and we'll be right back.